Welcome back. And today we're going to go over pressure canning potatoes. This was a special request from Trish. Trish, you asked for it, you got it. If any of you want to see a particular item that can be pressure canned or water canned, please reach out and I will do everything I can in my power to make it happen. So, without further ado, let's get to canning some potatoes. Alrighty, so what we're doing is getting everything together and making everything's green and go to use. I'm taking the lid, checking to make sure that the vent is clear. As you can see there, the light shining through it. It's clean and awesome. Checking the pressure indicator and making sure that the O-ring inside the pot's good. Make sure that's always stored with the pot open. I'm checking my other items that I have with me. My gloves, a slotted spoon for the potatoes, hot pad mitts, and there's something missing here, and you get extra points if you see what's missing. This is my lifter. We have the lids for the jars. That is my debubbler and headspace measurer, and the magnet for getting the lids out of that hot pan. All the pans here. We've got 4 things going right now. We have my jars, which are getting sterilized, or waiting for it to get boiling to sterilize. The lids, as you can see there. We have water, which needs to be up to a full boil. It's just water. And the potatoes, which I peeled and cut into 1-inch chunks. Added a 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice and let them soak overnight. So most of the starch would be taken out of them. Yay! Then I had to rinse the potatoes real good. Put some clear water in there. I need to get them up boiling for 2 minutes. And the reason I cut them up like that was so I could fit 10 pounds of potatoes in 3-quart jars. 1 quart each, 3 quarts. Okay, my jars are at a full rolling boil, so I let them boil for 10 minutes. Everything's ready to go. Timing is everything. If the potatoes haven't boiled for the 2 minutes, you can turn the heat down on the sterilizer because that 10-minute point had passed. So, take your jars out. Make sure you wear those gloves. Getting a quart jar full of water out is a bit of a problem. And in the upper left-hand corner there, when you see me run to the desk, you see that little pot down there on the bottom? What I've done is taken some of the hot water out of the sterilizing pot and put it into this pot. I get some heat going on under that to make sure it stays hot, because remember, hot jars, hot water. Here are my potatoes, and here is the hot water, the boiling water, which is what I'm going to use on top of my potatoes. I move that over. And what I'm trying to do there, you can't see it on any of the cameras I have. There's little lines carved into the side of the bucket, or canner, so I can see how much water I need. Alright, put the potatoes in the jars. You need at least 1 inch of headspace. Again, this is 10 pounds of potatoes. It's a lot of potatoes. If I had not cut them up, I definitely wouldn't have needed a heck of a lot more than 3 jars. So, and the boiling doesn't soften them up too much. It softens them up a little, so they still hold their shape. And I am pushing them down to make sure I have headspace and see if I can add one of those little last 3 pieces there. Okay, there we go. Managed to fit 2 in, stuffed it down again, measured there, noticed I had to kind of settle those in, measured here, found out I have a bunch of room left over there, so I'm going to grab that last piece of potato and throw it in there. Yay! and get that out of the way. Okay, so now it's hot water time. So, I open up the hot water. I only need hot water for the potatoes. I don't just want enough to cover them, so after they're canned, they don't change color. And with the lemon juice that I had soaked them in overnight, they're going to be fine holding white. You notice they don't have this strange fuzzy looking gray stuff all over them. Okay, putting water in jars. And it's just boiling water for these. I don't need anything special. Have you figured out what I'm missing yet? Not yet? Okay, well, we will bring it up again here in a minute as I go into Super Vampire Speed and fill these jars up. You're going to notice that I also have debubbled here. That's what the debubbler is about. You run it along the sides of the glass and whatever. The water level will drop. That's to be expected because you're knocking the bubbles out. Putting some water in there, measuring every time. Realized I put a little too much in there, so I poured it over into the other one. That one looks good. Just need a little bit off of there, not much, just a couple drops. And because you want that bottom of the measuring clear of the water, not in the water. And since I had a little too much there, I'm just going to head and dribble it off to the side in the sink. Bring it back. And measure them again. Make sure everything's good. And now I'm getting the lids. What am I missing? I forgot to pull out my little vinegar to wipe the tops of these jars. I got very lucky. With the tops of the jars, if you, since I was just using boiling water, they, putting the last little more water in there to bring it up to height. I got lucky they sealed without cleaning off the edges, because fortunately it was just boiling water and potatoes, and the potatoes weren't on the edges of that. So, putting my rings down on my lids. Yes, sirree. Those will come off after they've cooled down from processing. By the way, I did boil those potato chunks for 2 minutes, a full 2 minutes. I had to wait till the water got up to boiling, boiled it for 2 minutes. Hot food, hot jars. That's how it works. Measure up my arrows on my pot. It's snapped in. Now I'm going to go close it. I started having a little difficulty, so I pretty much thought I might have crimped. So I restarted. It went nice and smooth, no problem. Turn up the heat to high, and I'm going to wait for my pressure to come up so I can vent it. Okay, you see it's wiggling really a lot there. I have found with this pot, when I have quarter jars, sometimes water spits out at the pressure indicator and I have to wipe it off, and all of a sudden, hey, there it is. Alright, setting it for 10 minutes to vent fully. And there it goes, just going away. You see the pressure indicator is up. It's venting steam out pretty steady. And now we wait. 10 minutes later, we put the little weight on. Make sure that it's nice and loose so it can rock. Now I'm setting the timer for 15 minutes because anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes is when it's supposed to start rocking like that. An hour 30 minutes later, it's done. Here's the thing, don't touch the weight, ever. You see that indicator? It has to be down. Pressure has to come out of there slowly and naturally without making it go fast by taking the weight off. You will make an entire mess inside that pot. Alright, weight is down. Our weight is off. The pressure indicator was down. I let it cool down for a little bit more. Opened it up. Lid using as a shield to keep the steam away from me. These jars are heavy. You're going to need both hands. Have both hands protected from the heat. Put them on your towel because you never want to put a hot jar straight onto a countertop. 10 hours later. Yes, 10 hours. I've taken the lids off and now I'm looking at putting my little cloths on the top and tying them down. Again, this is to keep dust off the top, off the lids. It's not holding the lid down like the rings would. Taking the rings off, helps you to figure out, is there an indication that there's a problem, or not the lids, the rings off, easier, because the tops will pop and you go, okay, something went wrong with this, or this particular batch, or it didn't seal right. Not a problem. Here's how you tie it on. Little half hitch, put it around, tighten it down, tie your bow knot, and it's good to go. Don't forget to label what it is and the date you canned it. And there we go. All for you, Trish. Potatoes and how to can them. Y'all have a great one.